All right, so I'm in this unit, and I don't know how the last resident did this. This is a vacant, by the way. Getting it ready for move-in, and this is just leaning. So we're gonna go up under here, see we can figure out what's going on. I don't know if you guys can see, but it looks like the ring that holds this. Let me see if I can turn on this light. There we go. You can see that the ring that holds this, you can see where it's broken right here. Don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a crack right there, so that ring is not holding that up. So today, for some of you DIY guys, or maybe some of you that's in the maintenance industry, you just got into the field, not really used to changing out faucets, and you want to kind of get some tips or some pointers, something to kind of give you some confidence. We're going to be putting this new one in right here. I'm going to show y'all how to do that step by step. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, step one, what you want to do is that you want to turn off your water supply. Now, in this setting, if you're like a new tech or something, you're going to have three. You see there's 1, 2 there, and there's a third one. Now, this third one, you can see it's going back into that hole. That's going to your dishwasher. You don't need to touch that one. This is your hot water supply. So I think these are just quarter turn. So that one locks in place. That's off. This other one, same thing. This is your cold water. Quarter turn. Now it is off. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to open this up, see if there's any water going to come out, just to test it. There is no water coming out, so we know that both of those lines are off. Cold water, hot water. So as you move it, nothing's coming out. Everything is good. Let's go to the next step. All right, next thing you want to do, with a good set of pliers, you want to be able to take this hose off from this. Now, you're not going to be able to just use one set of pliers. Me, I got another set, so therefore I can be able to hold the valve itself, and I can be able to unscrew that hose that's going back up to the faucet. Because if you just try to use one set of pliers to twist it, these pipes, they move, right? And what you don't want to do is be trying to take this off and you end up, see how that pipe moves? You don't want to end up disconnecting this by accident, or this down here, because you're going to end up having a lot of water shooting back up, and then you're going to have to go outside and turn the water off. In this case, I got a shut-off valve inside of the garage, but you just want to have two pliers, or you can have a crescent wrench where you can hold this valve and then screw that off. And sometimes what you might want to do is you might want to have like a little small bucket or something, or a pot, especially if you're inside of in an occupied apartment. So therefore, when you take this off, sometimes you'll have a little bit of water that'll come out. But if you're lucky enough to where, the water isn't coming out, you You don't have to put a bucket and stuff up under it. But since I'm in a vacant unit and I'm already doing cleaning and all of these types of things, I can go ahead and, if I get a couple of drips here and there, I can go ahead and clean it up. But if you're in an occupied home, to keep water from going all over the place, you want to make sure that you have like a little small bucket or something. And just like the other side, since we've already got the hot water off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the cold water off now. Just a couple of turns, and you should be able to take it off by hand. Now, as you can see, there's no water that's coming out of these from these two lines when you take them off, because the water is shut off. So it's kind of creating like a vacuum to keep the water up inside the hose. Now, if I open that, water is just going to go pouring down into the bottom of this cabinet. Now, sometimes that's, a little trick that you may can be able to use. We can, remember when it comes to changing out a faucet, you may want to have this closed off. So therefore, to keep that water inside while you're trying to take the lines off, so you don't get water from the bottom of the cabinet. Now that I've gotten the lines all taken apart, you want to start disconnecting some things. Like, for instance, this is the hose that connects basically to the sprayer. Sometimes this can be a little tough to take off, and you might need to get some pliers and kind of squeeze it and pull down. I really don't like them because this particular one is like, it can be really, really tough to just squeeze by hand. So you might have to get some pliers, squeeze it so it can release. Alright, so since I got a low battery and my flash is kind of going out, I took this hose, we disconnected it from there, and now we want to take this weight off. And what this weight does is that it keeps the part that you use, the spray handle, it keeps it from sagging down into the sink. So you notice how whenever you use one of these pull down spray nozzle kitchen faucet types, it seems like it kind of retracts. What this weight does is that it pulls it back, pulls down, so it can pull the kitchen faucet back into place. So we're just going to go ahead and unscrew that. There's a screw here on this side, and there's a screw on the other side, and I'm kind of going to need both hands to do this. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that off and then show you the next step. Alright, so we got the weight off. Next thing we want to do is that we want to take off these rings. So usually you would have to, this particular ring, you would have to unscrew this from that part that goes back up into the granite. You would have to basically unscrew this all the way down to get to this point. But since it's broken, there's no need for that right now. Some of you may think that this may be a little hard, but what you have to do is you have to take out these hoses one by one. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one out and see if we got enough space to slide this down. And since we do, alright, so we got everything off. Now all we need to do is pull this up. Let's see what we got going on. same concept here. You want to kind of get some lines, pull it through. Alright, so remember what I was saying about the pressure basically being held up inside of the faucet. You know, as you can see, some of that water is flowing out, so I'm going to open it. Now you can see a lot of that water draining out. Now if you were to do that earlier, put it still there, you would end up with a mess on your hands. So let's get ready to take this one out. And we're going to put this one into that same spot. Now when it comes out of the box, you know, you see where there's the rings and stuff like that. You're just going to take the ring off, unscrew it. Put that to the side. And you're only going to take these two off as well. And we're going to get our faucet here. Set it right here in the hole. And one thing I like about this particular faucet is that you don't have this extra line to connect. So all you got to worry about is connecting your hot and cold water lines and basically being done with it. So let's get our rings. I'm going to get ready to put these up in here so we can be able to hold this down. Now I may have to cut the camera off for this because I'm kind of going to need two hands to make sure I get it tight and secure. So cut the camera back on once we get that done. But before I put these rings on, I want to kind of let you guys know how to put this on. You want to make sure that when you get ready to put these rings on to screw onto here, you want to make sure that this rubber piece is facing up. So this rubber piece is going to go on first, and this brass piece is going to go on second, and then this other brass piece with the screws, that's going to go on third. So, and also, I'm not going to show it on camera, but you kind of want to back these screws out a little bit. So when you get ready to screw this down, you're going to take a screwdriver, and then you're going to, once it's up in there, you're going to take it and you're going to screw these to kind of give it more support, make it tight so it can hold to that, and hopefully make sure that you don't make sure that the next person or whoever won't be able to break this. All right, now that I got everything on, I'm going to go up here and make sure that the faucet is turning the right way. Now, as you can see, it's not. So I kind of want to turn it kind of to about right there where I want it, to where the handle is right here on the side. But I think the last one was like this, to where it was in the front. So I'll probably just leave it like this. In some units, they want it over here. But since the last one was kind of like right here in the front, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it here so it can be able to move freely so it doesn't hit that towel. And then once you do that, you want to make sure that you continue to screw this down, and you want to have it tightened. All right, so we tightened everything down from up under there. Now we can see this isn't moving at all. So you don't have to worry about anybody saying, oh, you know, this was loose when I got here. It's like, nope, you gotta see it on camera. Where this isn't moving at all. So now after that, all we want to do is connect our hot and cold lines. But we have a bit of a problem. These lines are pretty short. So they are not going to reach. They're not going to reach these valves. So, as you can see, that's a huge problem. So, in a case like this, you want to go out and you want to make sure that you have some of these kind of like coupler lines where one side is male and the other side is female. This one here is 12-inch. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to put it on. So one is going to be for my hot, one is going to be for my cold side. And we're going to go ahead and connect those so we can have some type of extension and be able to connect our water lines. Now you can get these from Home Depot. I think I got these from HD. So if you guys use HD, I think I got these from HD. No, I think I got these from Wilmar. I don't think HD had them. And that's HD here in Georgia, so might be different from state to state. So I'm just kind of giving you guys an example of what needs to be done. You're going to screw it here to the valve. And then we're going to get our other one. And we're going to do our cold water side. So right now I just got them hand tightened because I kind of want to show you guys. This one here is kind of tough because I'm kind of in the awkward position. Camera is just fumbling around. So I just want to hand tighten this real quick. And then as before, you know, you're going to get your pliers. Get your pliers. It's like I showed you guys last time. You want to be able to hold that valve, and then with the other pliers, you want to be able to tighten it up, but you don't want to tighten it too much. Just kind of snug it on there. And I'm gonna do that as soon as I'm gonna cut the camera back on as soon as I get that done. All right, so now that we got these lines put on the valves, we got to figure out which one is hot and cold. So I like the way that they color coded these on this particular faucet, you know, and a lot of them that do not have the color coded lines, you know, of course red is for hot, blue is for cold, they'll have a tag on it. And usually the one that has a tag on it with the warning label or whatever, it'll let you know which one is hot, which one is cold. Now let's just say that you're doing all of this work and you can't remember which one of these lines was the hot and which one was the cold. Now, for a seasoned tech, you probably already know, but if you're kind of like a new tech or got your own home and you're trying to figure out which one is hot, which one is cold. Now, if you got a house that has a dishwasher, wherever that dishwasher line is connected to, that's going to be your hot, because only hot water goes to the dishwasher. There's no cold water, so there's only one water line that goes to the dishwasher, and that's always going to be on the hot. So we know that this line here is for the hot water. So we're going to go ahead and screw that onto there. And, you know, obviously, since we only have another line left, we just know that the other one, you know, by default is the cold water line. So I'm going to go ahead and screw those, get those connected, and turn the camera back on. All right, now that we got our lines connected, they're tightened, they're snug, we're going to go ahead and open up these valves. That's the hot, and that's the cold. So before you get from up under here, make sure you don't have any leaks. Sometimes you can have a really, really small leak, and you know, last thing you want is to get a call after the resident gets home or from somebody downstairs saying that there's water coming through their ceiling, especially if you're on the top unit and those hoses are leaking. You know, you'll get a wet spot right there in the ceiling from the people below, and then you have to come out here, figure out what's going on, go upstairs and tighten it back up. So just to kind of avoid all of that, just make sure that you have no leaks. And I'm gonna move this out of the way and go ahead and test out your faucet. All right, then we're gonna go to the other side, test it out. The one thing I don't really like about these particular faucets, because I thought it was, when I put it in, just doesn't seem like it's just getting that much. It's just, having that much water coming out. It doesn't have that pressure like this old one. And I've tried finding the exact replacement, but when you're in the lease up, new construction, I mean, you just never know where these guys get these old ones from. I mean, they can get them from China, from some wholesaler, and next thing you know, when it goes bad or something like that, you won't be able to find it because they probably only make it for for maybe just that year, and then the next year they just discontinue it, or they just don't have it available, So, but anyway, don't want to take too much time away from the main subject. Now I'm testing the water, making sure that my hot is hot and my cold is cold. This is hot here, so obviously this is cold over here. You just want to make sure you test it. Sometimes you will have some of these that will be defective, and you'll only get hot or you'll only get cold, and then you'll have to take that, get another faucet. Now once you do that, you test your faucet out, go back under here, make sure you don't have any leaks, any active leaks. Because sometimes, you can turn it on and you won't have too much of a leak. But then when you install it, you won't have too much of a leak. But then when you turn on that faucet, sometimes you'll start to have a little bit of a leak somewhere. So, and don't be alarmed when you see water down here thinking that there's a leak. This is just from when I was taking the old one out. And here's that old ring I was talking about that was cracked. So that's no good, and it's not gonna hold your faucet in. So yeah, this is how you install one of these single handle pull down spray nozzle kitchen faucets. Actually, I kind of like it. I kind of like this one too. I don't think I'm gonna get rid of it. I think I might just hold on to this, just in case somebody else have a problem with the faucet. At least I'll have another one on hand. And I'll see if I can order this ring from somewhere. See if there's a place where I can order it. Or see if I can maybe go to Home Depot. Probably won't be able to get this exact ring, but maybe find something similar to it with the same size, same thread type, that I can just be able to screw this one back on to. Because like I said, this is a pretty good faucet. I actually prefer this one over that one. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. That's basically it. You guys do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, and I really appreciate it. So until next time, guys, I will see you later.